I told her, I said, the proof is in the pudding. Let's go get the DNA.
So this is the DNA test, and it says the probability of relatedness is 96.7%.
For years, rumors have been flying about Janet Jackson and her super short marriage to James DeBarge. People swear they had a secret baby back in the 80s. Word is, Janet was forced to give that child up. And now, the whole thing might be blowing wide open. Could it be true? Is this long-buried family secret finally crawling out the shadows? Some folks are saying Janet was pressured hard, like real hard, to give up her baby just to protect her image while she was blowing up in the music scene. And James, he's been out here talking like he knows they had a child together. Baby or not, one thing's crystal clear. Janet made some seriously wild choices when it came to men back then. And those choices kept dragging her into drama. Before Janet got tangled up with James DeBarge, there was someone else in the picture. None other than NBA superstar Magic Johnson. Back in 1983, Janet hit up the American Music Awards in LA, and that's when things got real messy. Cameras caught Magic all hugged up on her, arms wrapped tight around Janet like they were way more than just friends. But it didn't stop there. Another snap showed them full-on kissing. At the time, Magic was 24, and Janet was just 16. Yeah, 16. When those pics made the rounds again in 2020, people were shook. The internet lit up with questions about what really went down in Janet's younger years. If that happened in front of cameras, folks couldn't help but wonder what might have gone down when no one was looking. Not long after that scandalous moment, Janet started dating James DeBarge, and boom, by 18, she ran off and married him in secret in 1984. People say she wasn't just chasing love, she was trying to break free. Janet reportedly saw marriage as her ticket out, a way to escape her super strict father, Joe Jackson, who was known for being totally controlling. Of course, Joe Jackson wasn't having it when Janet ran off and married James. He went full force trying to shut it down, but in the end, he didn't have to. The marriage fell apart fast, and it wasn't just teen drama. James was battling some serious issues with substances, and Janet, she got dragged right into the chaos. She was out here acting more like a nurse than a wife, running around LA trying to find him, picking him up in random spots, dealing with all his mess. Janet even said herself that she'd find pills in the house, try to flush them, and they'd end up straight up wrestling on the floor over them. And remember, she was just 18. That's a whole lot of madness for someone barely out of high school. But the real storm, it came with the rumors, that she had a baby with James. Some say she lost it, others claim she gave it away in secret. But Janet, she shuts it all down. She says straight up, there was never a baby, and anybody saying otherwise is just making stuff up. Still, there's a twist. Fans from way back, and even folks close to the DeBarge family, swear they saw Janet looking seriously pregnant in old photos, like 5 or 6 months along pregnant, but no baby ever got announced and no baby ever showed up. So what really happened? People who were around back then got stories that'll make your jaw drop. Some swear they remember Janet and her brothers on stage at the American Music Awards, with Janet looking like she had a full baby bump. And get this, Tito supposedly tried to cover her stomach with his jacket, casually draped over his arm, but folks say they could still see her belly plain as day. And it doesn't stop there. One woman claimed her aunt worked at a convalescent hospital where the Jacksons' grandmother stayed in the 80s. She swore up and down that Janet came in looking definitely pregnant. Whether the baby was lost or hidden, she couldn't say, but what she was sure of, Janet was for sure pregnant, child. That's what she said. And if there's one person riding hard for this story, it's James DeBarge himself. He's been standing on this claim for years. He first spilled the tea in a prison letter back in 2012, addressed to none other than Michael Jackson's doctor, Conrad Murray. James straight up said there was a secret child, and he hasn't let go of that story since. Allegedly, to this day, he still swears that baby existed, and he's not backing down. But on Janet's side, she shut it all the way down. In her documentary, she made it clear. There's no way she could have had a baby without her father, Joe Jackson, finding out. And if Joe knew, that secret wouldn't have stayed buried for a second. According to Janet, the whole baby rumor didn't just come out of nowhere. It kicked off back in 1984 while she was filming the TV show Fame. She said folks on set started whispering that she looked pregnant, but the truth? She had just started taking birth control pills, and back in the 80s, those pills were known to mess with your body, causing weight gain, bloating, and water retention from all the extra estrogen and progestin they packed in. Janet said the sudden change in her figure had people talking nonstop. A lot of the younger cast members assumed she was hiding a pregnancy just because she put on a few pounds. And from there, the fake story spun out of control like wildfire. In her documentary, Janet laid it all out. How that one little rumor grew into a wild tabloid circus. One of the craziest theories, that she secretly gave birth to a baby girl and handed the child over to her older sister Rebby to raise in private. People swore Rebby's daughter was actually Janet's hidden child. Even though there was no real proof, but it didn't stop there, some folks got real bold with it. They claimed Jackie Jackson's adopted daughter Brandy, who joined the family back in 1982, was Janet's baby too. That rumor came with no receipts, but still got plenty of attention. And if that wasn't enough, later on, people even started saying Randy Jackson's daughter, Savannah, must be Janet's child just because they looked alike. Janet said all these accusations were made up, pure fantasy, and nothing but gossip with no facts behind it. But that didn't stop people from believing and spreading it like it was gospel. Janet didn't just deal with rumors, she was also living through real pain behind closed doors. In her documentary, she opened up about her short-lived marriage to James DeBarge, and it was far from the fairy tale people imagined. The biggest struggle? James's addiction. And it hit hard, especially for someone as young as Janet. She even shared the heartbreaking story of their wedding night. Right after they tied the knot, they headed to a hotel in Grand Rapids, Michigan. But instead of celebrating together, James looked at her and said, "Okay, I'll be right back." And just like that, he was gone. Janet sat in that hotel room just 18 years old, completely alone. 3 hours passed and still no James. That was her wedding night. Janet said straight up, "That's not a life for anyone." She explained that she always tried to see the good in him, tried to hold on to the part of him that wasn't lost in the struggle. She believed he needed help, but also knew deep down she wasn't the one who could give it. Still, she had people in her corner. Her famed co-star Debbie Allen appeared in the documentary and didn't hold back. She shut the baby rumors down with attitude, saying, "These were rumors flying around, honey, like hash in a diner. Where's the baby? Nobody saw a baby. She was with us all day, every day. Where was this baby?" But despite Janet finally speaking out, some viewers weren't convinced. They picked apart every word, pointing out how her wording was odd, and even saying she got emotional when talking about James in a way she didn't for any of her other exes. The tears, the hesitation, it had people asking even more questions. Now here's where it gets real interesting. Janet never flat out said, "I didn't have a baby." What she did say, that it wouldn't have been right to keep a child from James, and that one sentence had people side-eyeing hard. She danced around the denial so naturally, folks couldn't help but wonder what she was leaving out. Meanwhile, James DeBarge and his family still ride for the story to this day. They insist the child did exist and was hidden from them. And guess who else chimed in? James' own daughter, Christina DeBarge. In one revealing moment, she admitted something wild. She truly believes she has a secret sister out there. Now hold up, why would she say that unless she knew something? Christina didn't sound like she was just guessing. She wasn't all dramatic or loud with it, but you could feel her confidence. That quiet kind of belief only comes from hearing something, maybe a family whisper, seeing an old photo, or just picking up on something that never quite added up. Christina even said she'd love to meet this mystery sister, the one she believes is out there somewhere. And she didn't just point fingers at her dad or Janet. She suggested the Jackson family machine might have had a hand in it all. According to her, that powerful circle could have played a serious role in making sure the baby disappeared, if there ever was one. Christina didn't stop there. She even hinted that with the kind of power the Jackson family held, it's totally possible the whole truth got buried just to protect Janet's skyrocketing career. And she's not the only one in the DeBarge clan raising eyebrows. James's sister Bunny came through with her own bombshell. She claims she actually saw Janet pregnant back in the day. According to Bunny, Janet suddenly got pulled out of the spotlight for a while. Then, bam, when she popped back up, the bump was gone, but no baby was ever seen. No announcement, no photos, nothing. Just silence. Between Christina's steady belief that she's got a secret sister somewhere and Bunny claiming she witnessed the pregnancy herself, it's starting to feel less like a rumor and more like a full-blown cover-up. The coincidences are stacking way too high. And let's not forget James' brother Daryl DeBarge. He jumped into the mix too. In a radio interview, he confidently said the same thing. The child is real. It wasn't a maybe. It wasn't a what if. He was certain. Then there's the real twist. James's own mother believed there was a baby. She was so convinced she actually agreed to take part in a DNA test with a woman named Tiffany White. Tiffany came forward claiming to be Janet and James's secret daughter. And that took the mystery to a whole new level. So here's how it all played out. Later on, a DNA test revealed that Tiffany White wasn't James DeBarge's daughter after all. But even with that door slammed shut, James didn't back down. He straight up said he's not giving up the search. He still believes deep in his heart that a baby existed, and he's determined to uncover the truth. Word on the street is that James continues to hold out hope to either find the child or finally get some real answers about what went down all those years ago. And some people, they've got their own theories. They think Janet might have had a miscarriage or a stillbirth and just never wanted to speak on it, which honestly would be her right. That kind of pain, that's not something easy to revisit, especially in the public eye. But then the bigger questions creep in. Was there a cover-up? Could the Jackson family have stepped in to shield Janet's image at the height of her career? Was she forced to give up a baby she never wanted to let go of? Or did she even have a baby in the first place? And what if, just what if, the entire DeBarge family got it wrong? Or worse, what if they're not being honest? This whole secret baby saga is wild, and the mystery just keeps spinning. What's your take on it? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear everything.